and we're good to go. And
Okay.
thanks so much for coming this morning.
So happy
Oh
to be
my
here.
goodness. So am I. Friday morning came really quickly this week for me, and I'm looking forward to catching up. We were just talking about the busy week that I had with my daughter's wedding and having so much family here and just, getting back into things. And I had sent an email out this morning to my list just saying, one of the things about being a solopreneur or small business owner is that, well, you get to make your own schedule, right? Like I get to say when I can go on vacation. I get to know when my work day is done. But on the other hand, I have to be responsible for getting things done
Sure.
and to make sure things are running. And as you know, we both love email marketing because one of the things I love about it is that you get to put your thoughts in order. You get to have a plan
Mm,
and execute the plan and set it up so that it's running, even if you're having brunch with your new in-laws or whatever it's called. There isn't actually a name for that in English. I learned what the Spanish word for that is consuegras,
mm,
because when your kid gets married, the other family aren't really your in-laws, right? It's her in-laws. And
yeah.
so in Spanish, it's consuegra, and in Yiddish, it's macatenister. But there isn't an English word for that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, we all got together and had that, and my emails were working, and my posts were going out. And thank you to automation, and thank you to outsourcing, and having people to help you with that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so I know. Thank you for agreeing to talk with me this morning too, because I know that you and I have talked about email marketing, and I mean, man, you wrote the book on email marketing.
Hmm.
Right? You
Well,
really
a
wrote
book anyway. Yeah.
the book that's
Yeah.
on my shelf that I should have
Yeah.
brought over here. And thank you for that too. So I wanted to kind of get some of your feeling. Why did you feel like email marketing was the focus that you wanted to take? We'll talk a little bit about that, about how you work in your email world. And then if we have some time, we'll take a look at some of the questions that people have been asking me about email. If that works for you.
Sure. Perfect.
Yeah. Tell me about how did you get here?
So the thing that I love most about email marketing is, as you said, it's out there working for you. Done correctly, you can automate the process and have this, kind of machine in the background bringing in either sales or clients or, whatever you want. Um, you know, uh, the reason I chose email marketing is because, believe it or not, everything that gets sold online, it all starts with email marketing somewhere. Whether somebody's using email to send you to a webinar where they're going to pitch a product to you, or they're sending you to their website to view a new product or a new release, or they're just using it to build branding and awareness with content email marketing, newsletters, testimonials, case studies, things like that. It still all revolves around email marketing. So it's like the root of where all business comes from these days. And the reason why I chose it is because I actually saw a niche within the email market where businesses weren't really using their email to bring in new sales. So these are, service type businesses, brick and mortar. They were using their email to do content marketing and branding and awareness, and maybe offer some specials through that, but they weren't actually using it as a tool that makes somebody an offer and gets them to come in and take action. And so that's kind of the niche I found after working with hundreds and hundreds of small businesses, mostly in the fitness industry. I saw that there was a need for that, and so that's what brought me to where I am today.
So what is the difference between, and I think, I had mentioned when I posted our event that you and I have like a slightly different tack to that, right? I am definitely content marketing
Mm.
email person, and you're talking about a different kind. Can you help clarify what that looks like for people who might not know the difference?
Sure. So, content marketing is branding and awareness. It's staying in front of your target audience on a regular basis, and it's something that you should absolutely do. Everybody should be doing that. Where I differ is the email campaigns that I run actually make a special offer. So it's usually with service businesses, it's usually a free gift with purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes that offer over a set period of time. So it's the way we do it is we send out 5 emails over a 16-day period. So after thousands and thousands of tests, we found that 5 emails work the best, and that 16-day period works the best. And so the 5 emails are about one single offer. So we don't want to confuse anybody. We're not trying to teach them anything. We're just trying to say, look, here's a special offer, and I'll give you an example of that, and come in and take advantage of it. So one thing we do for day spas all the time is we do a free gift with a massage. So book a 90-minute massage and get a free facial lift mask. It's a phenomenal offer. People are already coming in, want to come in to get pampered, and now they're getting this additional gift. So what happens is it drives that revenue into the business right away, and it's over a 16-day period. So it happens just like that. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And in particular, as you're saying, for brick and mortar or some of the service industries. So let me, when I talk with people, and I don't work with a lot of brick and mortars, but with the heart-centered entrepreneurs, a lot of the coaches that I work with, maybe yogis, which I think that what you're talking about would work for you, for yoga studios, right? Or massage therapists, that kind of thing. One of the things that when I ask people what are they afraid of or why they're not doing it is, and this is very interesting, it's a whole mindset thing, right? Is they don't want to bother people in their inbox. Do you ever hear that?
Yes, quite often. So one of the ways to look at this is the reason why we chose 5 emails over a 16-day period is because we want to keep the offer top of mind, but we don't want it to be in somebody's face. Buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. So think about it. You send somebody an email, and again, depending upon what time of day you send it, but let's say you send it in the afternoon. That person, first of all, is going to get their email on their phone. Second of all, they're probably going to be doing something. They're at work, they're at their kid's soccer game, whatever. So they see the message and they say, oh, this is something I want to take advantage of. I can't do it right now. So that message is in their inbox somewhere, and it's out of their mind almost forever.
Yes.
Right? A couple days later, they get a reminder email that says, hey, we sent you this offer the other day. We haven't seen you come in yet. Give us a shot, or give it a shot, or take advantage of it, right? So again, it's another reminder. And by sending out those multiple reminders, it keeps people aware of the offer and actually gets them to take action. Here's the most interesting thing. The most action is taken on the 4th or 5th email.
Oh, interesting.
So the platform that we use is our own proprietary platform. And the reason why I built that platform was to track things to the nth degree. So we found that 80% of the people who take advantage of the offer are doing it on the 4th and 5th email. So if we never sent those emails out, we'd lose 80% of the people who are taking advantage of the offer. So that's why it's so important to do that. And again, spaced correctly and done with a great tone to the email, nobody thinks it's in their face. Very rarely do we get somebody that is obscene in a reply that says, take us off your email. That happens rarely. And we're sending out, thousands and thousands of emails a month between all our clients, tens of thousands. So for us to have that kind of success rate, we tell people that it has to put your mind at ease a little bit to know that the people receiving the email, aren't going to get upset with it. And besides, they're getting a lot of other email from other people too. So
yeah. So that's interesting. So you just mentioned something that kind of lights me up, and you started talking about analytics, which kind of makes me really happy. Tell me a little bit about that. So somebody, first of all, let's talk about the person's list. Okay, so I'm a yoga studio.
Yep.
And I want to offer bring in a friend kind of right? Are you working with my list?
Yeah, so we work with the client's list because they already have permission to email that list.
Gotcha.
We do have another program that helps build that list, but I won't get into that today. So we work with their list. The first thing we do with their list is we actually run it through a cleaning process where we take out all the bad email addresses. And the reason why we do that is because number one is sending to a bad email address doesn't help your email rates or analytics at all, right? So first we clean the list, and then after we clean the list, we load them into our system and we run the emails, and we can track everything from who opens an email, what link they click on. All the emails go to a offer page, so who visited the offer page and what they did when they got to the offer page. And we can track that all the way back to the business of how many people that took advantage of, downloading the coupon on the offer page actually came in and redeemed it. So we have a closed loop that allows us to provide excellent analytics and see what's working and what's not almost in real time.
Awesome. So basically it's an autoresponder series.
Yes, it's an autoresponder series, but it's done at a much different level than the do-it-yourself type of platforms,
Yeah.
that are out there.
And then if somebody clicks and downloads the coupon, will they continue to receive the series until, right, so that's the first question.
Yeah, so in our system, we stop sending them emails when they come in to redeem the offer.
Redeem the offer.
Yep.
And you can tell that because they have to give you their email when they come in to redeem. And so now you take them off that list.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So our system gives everybody a unique identifier. So, and that's on their coupon, which is a digital coupon. It's just an image. So when they come in, the business owner lets us know this person redeemed the coupon, and we take them off the list. And either the business owner can take them off, or they let us know and we take them off.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So how would that differ than, say, people who are using MailChimp or Constant Contact or one of those? How does your system help them?
Yeah, so there's two differences. Number one is our service is done for you, so you don't have to do anything. So that's the real major difference is, you don't have to, you're not writing the emails, you're not tracking any of the analytics or anything. We do all that for you, and we provide as much or as little data that you want, on the back end after the campaign runs.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to worry about the setup. The other thing is our system tracks to a much higher level. So with a do-it-yourself platform like MailChimp or Constant Contact, you can see who opens your email, and you can even track what links they click on. But once they leave and go to an offer page, then you have to go to a different set of analytics to see what they did on the offer page. Where our system, it's all built into one platform.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. I wonder if that's the same. I know Constant Contact just started with their landing page. Actually, MailChimp has them too. But you're saying if they go off the site, if they go off onto a different place.
Yeah, and even within the landing page, like we can tell what link they clicked on. Was a link at the top of the page, bottom of the page.
Yeah.
If we use video, did they watch the video? How long did they watch the video?
Very cool.
Action after they watch the video.
Yeah.
Plus, our pages are also highly personalized. You get to the page, the coupon has your name on it, your unique identifier, your expiration date. So it's just a higher level. That's all.
Well, what I'm loving about this is because, as you know, right, like I work with heart-centered entrepreneurs, and I'm always saying, well, you have to show up as yourself, right? And you have to do what you have to do, so that, because nobody hires, let's say, a life coach without having heard their voice, without having read their voice in content, without having been exposed over and over and over again. And so that's important. But it's also important to look at the analytics and to see who's coming to your website, who's opening your emails, and to be strategic, because after all, this is a business.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? If you want it to be a hobby, then be a hobby and go at it. But if you want it to be a business, show up as your wonderful self, but also pay attention to the analytics and do more of the things that are going to be working for you. And if they're not working for you, understand that you're doing it for fun or for whatever reason, right? To maybe vanity, or maybe it's just communicating or whatever, but always have a purpose, have a call to action, have some analytics so that you know if you're going in the right direction, have some analytics to know that, yeah, that was a great idea. Let's do that again.
Absolutely. And you bring up a good point. Everything we do, whether it's the emails or the landing page, we have a formula or a template sort of that we use, but we do everything in the person's voice. So we want it to sound like it's coming from Susan, not it's something that Ed wrote that he's putting out for Susan.
Yeah.
So, we make sure that the verbiage and the language we use is verbiage and language that you would use. But we use it within our format because we know the format is proven to work.
Right.
Because we have tens of thousands of tests that show that the formula we have works.
Right. I was just talking with somebody yesterday about one of the podcasts that I listened to way back, probably 7 years ago, when I was just kind of getting started on this path. And it was Marcus Sheridan was talking to Michael Stelzner on the Social Media Examiner. And he was talking about his theory of they ask you answer. Right now he wrote the book on they ask you answer. And it was similar but different, but it was basically, he wrote if you know Marcus's story, he owned a pool company. 2008, the economy tanked. He didn't want to have to lay off people. He said, how do I keep this business going? He wrote a blog article, how much does I don't even know, gunite, let's say, how much does a gunite pool cost? And he was using HubSpot's analytics at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he was really micro watching all of the
Mm-hmm.
traffic that was happening. And he saw that blog blow up, and he could see if it converted to calls. So then he got his salespeople together and said, what are all the questions? Like, what is everybody at? And he just kept writing blog articles on every question anybody might be searching on Google. It's a great book. They Ask You Answer. I actually took excerpts from it in a conversation, and it's on the units section of the Rise Above Noise Facebook group, where I love to go through a book every month. Next month, we're doing Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo, just to kind of figure things out. But and so what is so interesting is that what he found, and similar to what you're saying, is that it took X amount of blog articles for people to read,
Right.
that when they clicked the request a quote or have somebody call me link, he could 100% predict if it was going to be a sale by how many blog articles, how many pages people had visited. So to your point, right, it was many touch points. And that's the same thing when we talk about content, right? If people are doing blogs, I always say you got to link from one blog to another, always have a call to action. Same thing, like be consistent, show up, but measure it and figure it out.
Even with a blog or content, Susan, I recommend that if you email out to your list, wait a few days and send, just send a, hey, I'm not sure if you got this, so I'm resending. Send the same email out with just that, line in the front of it, because someone may have missed it 3 days ago.
So Constant Contact now has that. I don't know if MailChimp does. Constant Contact has that automatic ability.
Oh, okay.
That when you send an email, you can schedule a reminder. You can change the subject line from 3 to 10 days out. And so there's two things that happen. One is, yes, I do get a higher click open rate, but I've also, and this is totally okay because I have an older list and I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm like, I should go clean up my list a little, because I have people on my list from 10 years ago. They're no longer small business owners. Now they're big business owners, or they've gone to work in corporations or whatever.
Right.
But so I've had a higher unsubscribe rate, and that's totally okay. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Absolutely.
So with a couple of minutes that I have left, I want to maybe just talk about a couple questions people have sent to me. So you already talked about this, so I'm going to just say it. People were saying something about, how to get permission to send to people. I will not send without permission, and you already said that you're working with somebody's list because you have permission. Want to just talk for a quick second about how important that is?
Yeah, it's really important, in particular for business to consumer. So if you're emailing consumers and you don't have their permission to do that, you're actually violating the CAN-SPAM Act. So that's why it's so important to do that. The other reason is that people don't like to get unsolicited emails. And so if you get somebody's business card at an event and you don't ask them to get permission from them to put them on your email list for your newsletter, you really don't have their permission to do that, even though they gave them their business card. Now that happens all the time, and we know that. So the second part of that is it's mandatory to have an unsubscribe link or button on your email somewhere so that people can unsubscribe automatically without having to send you an email or call you or anything like that.
Right.
So permission, very important. Very important.
I agree. And so two things. One is I was just talking to somebody this week who had attended the South Shore Conference for Women this past week. She said, I have all these cards. What do I do with them? I said, did you specifically say you were going to be emailing them? She said, yeah, I'll be the bowl said, add, can I add you to my email list? I said, well, it's been a long time since last Friday. It feels like years since last Friday. So and she was just we were reviewing her email, and I said, this is beautiful. It's clean. It works. Your links are all good, but people might not remember who you are.
Right.
So I think it's a really good idea that either in the subject line or the pre-header, and definitely in your text, you reference, wasn't the South Shore Conference for Women amazing? I met so many great people. Thank you for agreeing to be on my, right? So at the beginning, then at the end, make sure you have a signature line with your website so people can go like, who was this person again? And they can go over and check you out. And then I also suggest at the bottom saying, hey, I get it. Like if this is not for you, here's how you unsubscribe.
Perfect.
So that's that would be an opt out.
Correct.
Versus an opt in, which is a whole different kind of thing that I'm going through with a particular client who had a form on their site, and it had a CAPTCHA on it, but somehow everything did not work out right, and it got 2 months in a row. The form was filled out with probably 30 each month emails that were not good. So it wasn't like the ones you can normally see, which is like xrv.ru or something like that. It wasn't one of those. It was like normal names, Bob Smith at yahoo.com or Mary Jones at whatever. Like they were real names. And so then it got sent out and they got marked as spam.
Yeah, so I highly recommend on a regular basis using a list cleaning service. And I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are a bunch of them out there. They're relatively inexpensive. And I can email you after the call if you want.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, so you can actually run your email list through a list cleaning service, and they'll let you know, 99, 98% whether or not the email addresses have are valid or not.
Oh, that's really good to know. So let's see, what was the third question I got? Oh, so this is interesting. We have a couple minutes. The other question that I had from somebody this week was so she has a very active Facebook group. She belongs to a number of networking groups. So those are people that could probably, opt in to her list. Now she asked me, and I think I have my answer, but I'd love to hear yours. How can she get more permission-based opt-ins for her list?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to ask for it. So, putting a message out in the group that says, hey, if you'd like to be on my monthly newsletter or whatever, click here, and you send them to the opt-in page and they sign up. For brick and mortar businesses, believe it or not, there's many new startups that I've dealt with, and a lot of businesses that don't collect email at the point of sale. So yeah,
it's like going to a vendor event or a conference and not collecting. Yes,
exactly. So so a piece of paper that says join our email list, even if you don't, or our newsletter list, even if you don't have a newsletter, that's giving you permission to email them. So it's that simple to do it. It's just a matter of doing it and being consistent at it. a lot of people in their content marketing actually have a link at the bottom that says, join our newsletter, just in case they, forward that to somebody else who isn't on the list. There's a
Right.
link down there that says, here's how you join our newsletter, and
Right.
obviously there should be something on your website, very, transparent, but apparent, right on the front page, on how people can get it, join your newsletter.
Yeah.
The other way to do it is by offering free content.
Yeah.
So, which is the way I do it. So I offer, videos and PDFs where when you sign up for that, you're also joining, giving me permission to email you. As a matter of fact, you can't get the item unless you give me your email, because I'm going to email you the link to it. So
Right. Right.
So that's another great way to get permission.
Yeah. So good. I had done
Mhm.
a free webinar. It's actually still, I think it's still in the videos on the Rise Above Noise group, which is 20 ways to grow your list. And that was certainly some of the ways. I mean, it's things that you don't even think about, so obvious. So that I think you'd be the same as I would, which would be just always be thinking, how can I bring these people a little closer? Like email is like gold. Right?
It is. It
Permission is
really
like
is.
gold, and you have to nurture it, and you have to keep it shiny, and you have to keep, giving it some water and a little bit of food, and giving them resources, and, growing your contacts so they're always coming closer to you. We got the questions answered. We got your whole system. Is there anything else you'd want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, just use email to your greatest advantage. There's so much hidden revenue in your email list that you're not aware of. Explore it and try some different things. Make some offers to people, and don't be confusing about it. I attended a couple different copywriting clinics, but one of the biggest ones I attended, the whole theme of it was one big idea. And so don't get convoluted in your email. If it's a newsletter, then that's different. But if you're making an offer, just use that email to make the offer. Don't put 20 things in it, because a confused mind does nothing, And so
That's what Donald Miller says, right? If you
Right, yeah.
confuse, you lose.
Yeah, too many options lead to confusion, and a confused mind does nothing. So keep it simple, but use it as a tool to, to bring in those contacts that you want.
Awesome.
That's my
Thank you
advice. Yeah.
so much, Ed. I'm so glad that we got this time
Me too. Thank
to
you.
offer this to the Rise Above Noise group, and I'll post it. I'll share everything. And where can people find you?
So the best way is my website, ecemarketingservices.com, and you can learn all about what we do with email marketing.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Susan.